hurt. Your art is just normal. It's not realistic, it's not logical. Focus on your future. Art is difficult. Pursuing art to continue a dream is harder, especially in today's society. The anime Look Back is an anime that originated from manga like most anime films. It was published back in September 3rd of 2021. The film came out in 2024 after 3 years. The anime itself is about a character named Fujino, a character author Tatsuki Fujimoto wrote based on his real-life experiences. It's a film with good quality animation, sound design, meaning, and story. And today I'll explain why people should watch and experience this film, directed by Kiyotaka Ushiyama. Hello. Welcome back to episode 16 of podcast audio of Sorta Me. The anime film Look Back has a high-quality, clean animation and is pleasing to the eyes. The animation is produced by Studio Durian. Look Back is likely the only successful film they have produced, but even so, the quality and soundtrack is at the top. It's one of a kind. The studio has done a great job at animating Tatsuki Fujimoto's style of illustrations, drawings, and lines, and look. Tatsuki Fujimoto is well known for having complex, detailed, sketchy, vibrant drawings and illustrations with realistic features that is hard to copy, for stories and animations and drawings by many media platforms like YouTube, Tumblr, and much more. There are numerous video essays about the artist in the internet. YouTuber Coxie states and compares the artwork of Tatsuki Fujimoto and 3 different arts from 3 different series, which has the same kind of look and art style despite they are all drawn by different people. He states that Fujimoto gives every major character a subtle but key characteristic or a quirk or element in their appearance. Look at these 3 guys, none of them are from Chainsaw Man, but I bet you can immediately knew it was from Fujimoto that drew them. Now, that's called being distinct. He here is technically comparing the 2 types of art, one all by one singular individual that understands and has a distinct art style that is iconic, and 3 different artists who doesn't have a distinct art style that represents themselves as an artist. This proves how iconic and well-known Tatsuki Fujimoto's artworks are. Tatsuki Fujimoto's art and manga is realistic and unique that it contrasts with other kinds of artists' works. Fujimoto's art style is raw, cinematic, has a grotesque twist, most of the time really gory. High contrasting shades and style, most of the time focusing on deep topics that are complex and hard to understand. And because of that, his manga is hard to adapt and fully bring out his style, dramatic and strong and bold. Despite how hard it is to adapt his manga and series, Studio Durian managed to bring out the humorous, dramatic rawness of his work, but because this film wasn't focusing on this dark, deep, complex side of his work, which is most of the time gory, it is an easier way for anyone to approach Tatsuki Fujimoto's work as a film. Secondly, the story is realistic and logical. The story doesn't use different types of fantasy or unique world building like most anime films and shows these days. It rather focuses on events that affected the characters mentally and physically, which becomes a part of their character development throughout the show. The story is set in the countryside of Japan, a small town that resembles Nikko, a town the creator grew up in. The story focuses on 2 girls that has the same interest as each other, art. Our main character Fujino is sporty, confident, and enjoys drawing comics for weekly news at her school, and the other girl, Kyomoto, was shut out socially by her fear of people keeping her in a room while pursuing art. One day, Fujino's art is compared to Kyomoto's art on weekly school's newsletter by her classmates. This sparks the main character to attempt and train to get better at art, to suppress this anonymous figure that Fujino is being compared to, especially because Fujino is a competitive, passionate character. Throughout the film, the relationship of Fujino and Kyomoto changes continuously, rivals to friends, then partner, then away from each other again. In a different perspective, they were never really rivals, but rather in a relationship of a respected figure and an admirer. The story also shows the viewers a what if. What if the two never met? What if they stayed anonymous and had separate lives going on, letting the reverie slip? Then by the end, we watch as Fujino matures as an artist, as an individual human being that seems to now understand that this whole time, art wasn't just another hobby to her, but rather a spark that helped her form new connections and experiences despite tragedies that happened throughout the film, aka throughout her life. The story is quite light when compared to other modern anime that is released these days and has many beautiful sceneries going on. I'm glad I left my room. I was scared to go out today, if I'm being honest. Kyomoto, a girl shut out from the outside world, scared of people, confesses to Fujino when they go out to the city to spend some money they won from their first ever manga drawing contest. Kyomoto confessing this shows her character development, how she is overcoming her fear of people in the outside world. At this point, you might ask, what is the message of the movie? The message of the movie is the need for artistic passion, healing of creativity and motivation, and how people around us can't always be there for us, how sudden losses can be. Healing from those losses. The title of the film Look Back also hints at looking back at past mistakes, events and relationships, childhood and nostalgia. But the message here is to keep going, keep living through, no matter what you face. The message is likely positive and hopeful. The YouTuber DM Punk states that it's a manga with striking emotional beats, but that also doubles as a commentary on Fujimoto's own experience with drawing manga. But more than anything, I think it's a love letter to art, of making things, of pursuing creative endeavors. How I interpret this line is that the film is a message from the director and Tatsuki Fujimoto to people to keep living, to keep trying, and life will work out its way, but also a letter towards artists and creators to never lose creativity, and that passion can overcome talent. Look Back is a great anime. Anyone and everyone should have at least watched once. Look Back is an anime film, good to start your anime journey with, or a great film to watch. It has a great quality and animation along with beautiful, interesting slice of life anime-like story. The film delivers a positive encouragement for creativity and the need for artistic passion towards creators and young artists, the need for motivation when at the lowest point of life. Look Back is a great adaptation of Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga and easy to enjoy. The story is great, has lovely illustrations, and is one of a kind. That is why people should watch it. Thank you for joining us this evening. Have a lovely day, and until next time.